One of the investments that I made in the last 2 years was buying into airline stocks when everybody just thought they were going bankrupt, or they were just never going to go anywhere. But I really just sensed that they were heavily discounted, and that once we got these COVID-related restrictions taken away, people were just going to travel no matter what. And my intuition was correct. I bought into United, and I was well compensated in that investment. And I think that these stocks still have more room to go. I think that the business traveler has yet to really come back. Only a few percentage points of the business traveler have come back. And historically, that's been the number one, profit generator for airlines. So I'm thinking that's going to be the next leg of growth for airlines. So I'm continue to really monitor this particular sector and industry. And first, it's underperforming the S&P index, which is not bad news. It means that I think they continue to be discounted. Seeing that rising revenues will continue for the next couple of years, they're going to have really well capitalized businesses, and the stocks are discounted. So that's a really good recipe to take a look at this investment. So airlines belong to the industrial sector, which has been doing okay this year. It's been flat, and year to date, it's up 7%. And over 10 years, it's done okay. But the airlines, as of late, they've done okay. They're down over the last month, which looks good. I think the discount's really in on airlines. And year to date, it's 10%, which isn't bad. And I believe that airlines have been heavily discounted, and there's good upside in the stocks. Taking a look at some of the bigger airlines like United, Delta, American, Alaska, and Southwest. United, for the last 12 months, 52 weeks, it's up 21.47, which is good. That's beating the S&P. Looks like Delta is doing even better. And you look at their PEs, just incredibly low. I mean, look at these make-believe, very low PEs. And that's what I'm seeing when I'm seeing the airlines. I think Southwest, surprisingly, Southwest has been the airline that has kind of been the leader for 20, 30 years. It just seemed like the gold standard in airlines with Southwest. But the last 2 years, man, they've just have had big problems over at Southwest. So I'm an investor in United, and I'm glad I invested. I've already made money, and I think there's still more money to be made for me for the next 2 to 3 quarters. And then I got to start thinking of an exit strategy, because I don't want to have too much capital in United when, let's say, the recession really hits and when the number of passengers goes down. So I'm going to, take a quarter at a time. But I think that there's still a couple quarters, especially this summer. I think it's going to be really profitable for the airlines. I know we're hearing some mixed messages out in the marketplace, but I'm willing to bet that the next earnings is going to be very favorable for the airlines. Looking at the year-to-date chart, United's doing great. Delta's doing really well, beating the S&P, which is good to see. American's doing well, as mentioned. Southwest not doing so well. Again, they've had their set of problems, but you can see that the chart, really they were rising really well here in 2023, and over the last month or so, you've seen a downward, price action. And again, I'm looking at it as, they have airplanes that are completely full. I've traveled 6 times in the last 2 months. I've done both coast to coast trips and the regional travel. Airplanes are full, airports are full, and airlines are really charging premium ticket prices. And I think they're making a lot of money. I know that fuel costs have gone up, labor costs have gone up, but I think they have enough room in that ticket price to achieve really good profitability. And I'm expecting, again, earnings calls for the third quarter. They're going to be very positive for the airline industry. An example valuation is United. I believe that the United stock is currently discounted by 83%. If you look at their free cash flows they're producing and their earnings per share, that's a big number. I don't come up with these valuations all that often that are this heavily discounted. But if you want a detailed analysis on United, you can look at another video where I go step by step on valuing a company based on free cash flows and earnings per share. But I believe that if you truly measure this business by the amount of cash they're producing and the profits that they're producing, each share is worth $87.47. But the market will sell you shares at $47.69. So it really offers up a really attractive upside proposition on United stock. Looking at the United stock chart for the last year, you've seen that the stock has really gone up on a few occasions quite quickly. You've had advancements just really peak here in 2023, and we've seen the stock really drop a lot of value. And again, I continue to believe that there's still a lot of meat left on this bone. I think the United stock is gonna really rally after the next earnings. And really, you can't suppress great free cash flows and great profits forever. And based on the earnings reports that I've seen, that I've analyzed, again, I've got another video detailing United, that profits are just, through the roof. The free cash flows are just incredible. And at some point, I think investors are going to pay attention to the fact that, hey, the airlines are really making money right now. So just in closing, airlines, that's not my number one industry that I look for investments. In fact, I think Warren Buffett has really sworn off airlines. I think he lost money on a few occasions, and he's sworn them off forever. Now, I'm not quite there, but you look at any business that you can get your head around, that you can really understand. It's really how much growth are they going to have, how much money are they going to make, and how much free cash are they going to produce so they can return that capital back to investors. And right now, the airlines, boy, they look great. They look great if you look at their financials and you look at their free cash flow. I mean, it's a stand-up industry right now. So although it's not an industry that it's my favorite one, I cannot ignore the fundamentals of the industry. So I covered it from my point of view. I'd love to get your feedback on what you think of the airlines, good and bad. I'm sure I'll get some comments that are going to be pretty colorful. And do me a big favor and like my video and subscribe to my channel. I'd appreciate that. Hope you found the video interesting. Let me wish you good luck in investing in 2023.